Hello everyone, welcome to this video session on the concept Comprehension Passage, Example-3. In the last two videos, we discussed some passages, two passages under composition section of 4th semester BCA, BSc, BA, BCom, BSW at Mangalore University in the paper Compulsory Foundation Course in English. In this video, let us take up the discussion of one more passage, the third example in the series. Welcome to today's video discussion. See, in the last two videos, we recounted that there are 5 steps in approaching a comprehension passage. The first step is to read quickly, that is applying skimming. Second step is to read the questions. And third is to read the passage selectively to find answers to the questions. Then we concentrate on each question and locate answers related to that. After locating the areas in which the question has the answer, we read only those sections and write answers to the questions. That is how we use a step-by-step approach to answer questions come under comprehension passage. Let's come to let's discuss the today's passage. Here is a passage. So usual instruction is read the following passage and answer the questions set on it as directed. This example passage 3, it opens with memory is what defines our lives. It's clear from the very first line that the passage is about the concept memory. Then there is a definition of memory. The dictionary defines memory as the faculty by which things are recalled or kept in mind, the recovery of one's knowledge by mental effort. And you also see for many of us, for most of us, memory is just the ability to recall facts and figures, the faces of people we know, and the recollection of things in past. That is the common man's observation of the concept. Then the opposite view, nevertheless, memory is far more complex than this. So that means the passage is going to say about what is complex in the concept memory. And without memory, as in amnesia is then without memory or the loss of memory, the personality changes is distorted without any point of reference. So you can see some key words here like amnesia, distortion of memory, then a common man's perception of memory, a dictionary definition of memory. These are some of the key points that you have to register in your mind while reading the skimming. Then the next paragraph says memory is of vital importance. That means the second paragraph speaks about importance of memory because it is associated with that personal remembrance, with complicated personal remembrance. Without this, it isn't possible to imagine human's existence. That you can see here. And example of old people suffering from Alzheimer's can also be taken or is also mentioned here. Then less coherent and irrational personality is the result of that, and we suffer a lot with the loss of memory. That is given here. Then when we come to the next paragraph, science's perspective of a scientific perspective view of memories, there are as the two types. When we observe long-term, we have long-term memory and a working memory. Working memory is the ability to recall telephone numbers or daily things, right? Whereas a long-term memory is something else, retaining. People retain it throughout the life, right? So even old people, many older people seem to lose this working memory, but they still retain the long-term memory. That's another important idea. And you see, have only one part of the brain active under stress or illness. Even perfectly normal people may have only one part of the brain active under stress or illness is there. Then in addition to these, there is also recent memory, semantic memory, episodic memory. The other varieties of memories are mentioned here. Then come to the next paragraph. There, without memory, what would be the situation? So we become different people. It's a common idea. So in most older, it is what most older people fear, but it need not be so. So unless the illness is the cause of memory loss, participating fully in life can make a world of difference. That means one needn't worry that the memory stays ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ. Then we have scientists, musicians, writers, doctors, architects, engineers, and artists all use their brains and memory centers to maximum effect. Anyone absorbed in the some work or project or hobby whereby the mind is stimulated and used can keep good memory in good condition. So that means what is to be done for keeping memory in good condition is also mentioned here. Then reading and paying attention to what you're reading, learning poetry by heart, taking a deep interest in the world around you stimulate memory, encourage, or make it active, stimulate memory. So these are the things what stimulates memory and what one has to do for improving memory is mentioned here. Then in the last part, if the brain does not receive sufficient oxygen for the purpose for the process of cerebration, hallucination, and adverse psychic reactions occur. That is the adverse side of that. Yoga tells that we need to be good deep breathers. That's another solution from yoga. Without memory we are nothing. That's the importance of memory once again. And our closest family members are nothing to us. We are alone drifting in a world of which we appear to know nothing. The preservation, dignity, and empathy, love depend almost entirely on the preservation of memory. That's why all these qualities are possible with the preservation of memory. That's why there is the importance of preserving memory. So it's by Nargis Dalal in Hindustan Times, published in the Hindustan Times. Okay, when we have made the skimming, next thing is to look at the questions. You have questions here, you can see questions, right? What is the true definition of memory is the first question. So when we go to this concept of definition, usually the question of definition usually appears in the opening of any passage or any writing. You can see therefore when I think of the word definition is a clue to locate the answer. You can directly go to the very first paragraph, which says in what defines our lives, our personalities, our existence. See, sometimes we get misleaded or misguided by certain words. Just looking at the word definition, you cannot locate the word define and write this as the sentence. This is not the answer, right? Answer is here, right? The dictionary defines memory is there. Yeah, the memory is ordinary definition. So memory is defined as the faculty by which things are recalled and kept in mind. That is the answer, right? So we can answer so as memory is defined as the faculty by which the things are recalled or kept in mind, and the recovery of one's knowledge by mental effort. So anyhow, second question, how is memory different from the layman's interpretation of it? So an ordinary man's perception of the concept, that is also there in the first paragraph. You can see, because we went to one thing, however is there here, right? This definition is scientific definition, whereas however, as against that, we have this opinion in common, right? For most of us, that means we are layman there. Memory is just the ability to recall facts and figures, the faces of people we know, and the recollection of things in the past, right? That's the thing. So anyhow, so you can just reply, answer here using the same. For a layman, memory is just the ability. See, we have taken the turn here is not for many of us. You should write it as for a layman, because we consider there that it is for layman, right? Then next question again, for third and fourth question in 1 mark questions, 4 questions into 1 mark, 4, that is the nature of question in the final exam or even in the test, for example. So here is about importance. You can see here that the question is about how is the preservation of memory important in our personal lives. So vital importance, why it is important, personal remembrance is important. Otherwise, without that, it becomes less coherent and irrational personality. That is there here. One can write that as the answer here, right? For example, the preservation of memory is vital importance, right? Is vital in our personal life, as it enriches our lives with complicated personal remembrances. That is how you can answer, taking your sentences even from the passage and modifying it to suit to the particular question here, right? Then we have find the word in the passage that mean to make something more active. See, the concept here is to make something more active. Where we have these, there was a paragraph which discusses what makes memory active, right? How can we improve our memory? So you can directly go to that passage, memory in good working condition. What makes it active is there. I'm sorry, before that we have what makes it active, reading and paying attention to what you're reading. All these are right. You can see um, points like these to make something more active. Sorry, here in this paragraph you speak about what makes memory active. You have to locate the word stimulate memory here. The word stimulate is the answer here, therefore, right? Because to make something more active is stimulate, right? That's the question, that's the answer. Then we go to 2 marks question. There are 3 questions. What is the importance of memory? How does the absence of it affect personalities? The first one is importance of memory here. The first part of the question is importance of memory. Just we went to that one. Vital importance is there here, right? Vital importance. You can see the way importance of memory is the question. Vital importance is placed here, right? So easily you can locate this one here, right? It's speaking about why it is vital importance. The points there, you can see memory is vital importance, vital in defining our personalities, as it enriches our lives with complicated personal remembrances. Without this, we become sufferers with less coherent and irrational personalities. This is what they are here, right? The answer for that is available here, and that's how we locate it. Yeah, when we come to the next one, what kind of memory loss do older people suffer? The word key phrase which is helpful for us is older people. Where there is the reference for older people, that we have to locate. When we identify that, here is that as people grow older, it is there not there as older people, but as people grow older, they often suffer the loss in the form of or other the disease like Alzheimer's is mentioned here, right? That is enough, I think. You can see that the first part of the answer focus on that. Does this mean they lose memory completely? So for this again, you see even in the next passage, right, the answer continues. So older people generally suffer from Alzheimer's disease. It does not mean that they lose memory. So here, for example, in the next passage, you have that, right? So older people, you can see many older people seem to lose this form of memory, that is working memory, while they still retain the long term memory. That means they don't lose that long term memory. That one has to observe here, right? That is the thing anyhow. So so that's how we answered that one here. Then in the last question, how can one keep one's memory in good condition? So keeping memory in good condition, we have already seen that slide where memory in good condition, good working condition is there here. So we can take this as how can we keep it? So reading and paying attention to what you are reading, learning poetry by heart, taking a deep interest, or even anyone absorbed in some work or project or hobby. All these are answers, right? You can use them. So keep one's memory in good condition, can absorb in some work, project or hobby whereby the mind is stimulated and used, can keep the memory in good working condition. Also one can engage themselves in reading and paying attention to what they are reading, learning poetry by heart and taking a deep interest in the world around them is possible. That's how we can answer this. So by all the 3 examples of passages we came to we have seen so far, it's clear from that reading comprehension improves our reading skill, because we read more and more, and we hone our skill here. It also enriches our vocabulary because we get a quantitative number of words. Say for example, stimulate here. Language competence improves with all these increment of vocabulary, improvement of reading speed. All these contributes to language competence. And again, we not just focus on word meaning here. We also try to improve our sense of our ability of unearthing suggested meaning and overall organization of a passage and the main idea of a writer. And moreover, reading comprehension is actually a very helpful activity in language learning because it gives input to us. And by using reading, we produce the language, or by gaining knowledge through reading, we produce a language either in the form of speaking or in the form of writing. That's why reading comprehension is a very useful activity to do to improve our overall language competence. So, with that, I conclude this presentation on reading comprehension. We will discuss model question papers in the next videos. Thank you. See you.